here now?
Ready to have some fun?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 comedy adventure We Have a Ghost. The film is directed by Christopher Landon and it stars Jahir Diallo-Winston, David Harbour, Anthony Mackie, Erica Ashe, Niles Fitch, Isabella Russo, Tig Notaro and Jennifer Coolidge. Now, the film focuses on a new family that moves into a haunted house. It's quite a disjointed family. The dad, played by Anthony Mackie, is a bit of a, he tries his hand at all sorts. He's trying to make his fortune sort of thing. Nothing ever works, which results in the family moving around constantly. So they move into this house and their son, Kevin, discovers that it's haunted by a ghost called Ernest, played by David Harbour. Now, the dad wants to exploit this because they get proof, video evidence that there is a ghost that initially they put online, nobody believes, but eventually people come around to the fact that this is potentially real, and the house and the family become celebrities, which also draws the attention of the government, who are intent on capturing Ernest. But Kevin is very, very determined to discover Ernest's story in order to help him move on. Right, what are my thoughts on We Have a Ghost? Well, this was, the trailer for this came out a few weeks ago for the first time, and I remember watching it thinking, well, that looks fun, entertaining. That might be something I'll check out when it comes out, and it's just been released very recently on Netflix, over the last few days, something like that anyway, and I checked it out last night. And while I think this film is flawed, it is certainly quite entertaining. It's one of those films that the whole family can enjoy. When it tries to be funny, it's reasonably funny. When it tries to be emotional and dramatic, it's reasonably emotional and dramatic. And it is a fairly easy watch. It's one of those films you can put on. Everyone can fairly enjoy it. Turn it off and that's like, okay, that was okay. It's not one of those films that anyone's going to put on and just start raging over. It's not that type of film or anything like that. I don't think anyone's going to be like super enthusiastic about this film, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. I watched it with my wife and she wasn't particularly keen on it. She kind of turned off, mentally, started looking at social media and stuff about halfway through. She thought it started getting a bit silly, even though earlier on in the film she was chuckling at some of the stuff that were happening. So, I mean, just bear in mind, it is quite slapstick, this, at times. And I do think the film struggles with its own identity because, like I say, at times it's not sure whether it wants to be a comedy or like an emotional family drama at times, you know what I mean? And it reaches it. At times, it also tries to tap into things that have come before, like Beetlejuice. I mean, even Splash as well. You've got this government agent that's determined to prove that ghosts exist, very much like Eugene Levy in Splash, that wants to prove that mermaids exist. Finally gets the proof that they want, capture what they want, and then ultimately they have a change of heart. You know what I mean? You can see it coming a mile away. And this film is deeply predictable, I suppose. The only thing that kind of keeps you guessing is Ernest's story, how he died, why he died, and that's something that Kevin is determined to uncover by investigating him and his past. And that kind of does keep your interest up, I suppose, a little bit. And that's not massively predictable because it doesn't necessarily give you the clues you need to kind of put two and two together until fairly late on into the film. So it does manage to hold your attention, this film. But like I say, it is very patchy in a sense of, the first half of the film. Well, the start of the film feels like, a serious family drama almost. You get these family dynamics, you get the frustration between the family and the kids falling out with dad and mum falling out with dad and all this kind of stuff. You get all that in the early part of the film, and then he discovers Ernest, and then, like I say, it just gets a bit slapstick, and that's when the heavy comedy comes in, especially when mum finds Ernest. and all the, when it blows up on TikTok and the internet and all this kind of stuff, and you get fake Jesus turning up, but it is fairly there's quite a few laughs and chuckles going on, and then again it takes another turn. It starts going down the family drama route again. You know what I mean, and tapping into all the emotional stuff, and it doesn't necessarily work. You know what I mean? There's a couple of scenes where it might pull on the heartstrings, but it doesn't for me. That's not when it's at its strongest. I think this film is at its strongest when it leans more into the comedy side of stuff. So if you like light family comedies, films that the whole family can enjoy, then I think this is something to check out, I suppose. I mean, it's not mind blowing or anything like that. It's just going to pass the time. And as much as I like David Harbour as well, and he's absolutely fine in this film. In fact, he's quite funny. He's got, with his physical comedy and stuff like that. And there are some funny scenes, and there's some good scenes with Jennifer Coolidge in it, who plays like this, mad TV medium type person. David Harbour doesn't say a thing in this film. Not a one word. So it's all physical from David Harbour, everything. Now, he does manage to portray everything he wants to portray in his performance, with his facial emotions and his physical comedy and all this kind of stuff. But there was a handful of moments and you're kind of thinking, we need something out of him at this point in the film, verbally. So I do think this film does struggle a little bit with his identity, but it's Netflix. If you got Netflix, it's free to watch. Give it a watch. I think the family will enjoy it. I just think it's just above average for me. It probably could have elevated to be a better score than what I've actually given it, but ultimately I think it's for you guys to decide. Check it out, see what you think. I don't think you'll waste an hour and a half watching it. I thought it was certainly reasonably entertaining. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.